Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, hostilities intensify in the West Bank district of Samaria with dozens of wounded and at least 5 Palestinian gunmen killed after premeditated ambush by Hamas-affiliated terrorists drew a vigorous Israeli response. Israel asserts that it is vehemently opposed to any emerging arrangement between the United States and Iran on the latter's nuclear program. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Islamic Republic of Iran jointly announced their intention to deepen relations aimed at de-escalating tensions. Hostilities intensified in the West Bank district of Samaria today as Palestinian gunmen in the city of Jenin confronted Israeli Special Operations Forces conducting counter-terror activity aimed at arresting 2 wanted terrorists. While operational activity included the arrest of 14 suspected terror operatives over the weekend, early this morning, Special Operations Forces of the IDF's paratroopers reconnaissance unit and the Border Police Undercover Hamas unit operated in the city of Jenin, where Palestinian gunmen, in a premeditated ambush, targeted the operational convoy of the Israeli forces with a large number of improvised explosive devices, which ensued massive gunfire toward the troops. As a result, 7 Border Police and IDF special operators sustained separate degrees of injuries, forcing the IDF 669 airlift unit to enter the battlefield for an emergency evacuation, warranting 2 IDF helicopters to open fire for the first time since the so-called Second Intifada and the turn of the century, reportedly killing at least 4 Palestinian gunmen and, according to Palestinian medical officials, wounded over 50 others. It is important to highlight, in contrast to circulating reports that cited critical injuries among the Israeli troops, 2 IDF troops and 2 Border Police special operators sustained moderate wounds, and 3 Border Police special operators sustained light injuries. According to the head of Haifa's Rambam Medical Center Trauma Unit, none of the wounded are in life-threatening conditions.
We received 5 wounded who sustained injuries in separate body parts, primarily lower limbs. They all underwent examinations and 2 are undergoing surgery. The others have been received in separate hospital units. There is no danger to none of their lives.
Meanwhile, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant relayed wishes for a speedy recovery to the injured Israeli troops and proclaimed, quote, "Terrorism does not and will not have a sanctuary city in Jenin, Nablus, or Gaza. The commanders of the IDF and the forces in the field receive my full backing to act with full force to preserve the lives of our citizens and forces." It is important to know that Jerusalem's top defense official made these remarks while visiting the Paris Air Show, where Israel's Rafael defense industry showcased a new system dubbed Skysonic, which is intended to counter hypersonic threats, including the latest hypersonic systems which Iran recently unveiled. And while this sophisticated system is currently in advanced R&D stages, it would essentially complement the Israel aerospace industry's Arrow 3 system, which already proved capable of intercepting a wide variety of exo-atmospheric hypersonic ballistic missiles, a system which Germany has officially committed to procure for a total amount of 4.3 billion euros. Following the German announcement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited the Israel Aero Industries, where he received a tour of the latest activities to further reinforce Israeli security, after which Netanyahu also seized the opportunity to voice Jerusalem's objection to Washington's intention to reach an arrangement aimed at limiting Iran's nuclear program with the Ayatollah regime in Tehran.
I am here at the Israel Aerospace Industries. I am very impressed by the defensive and offensive means that we are developing here. We are determined to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. Our vigorous opposition to returning to the original nuclear agreement contributes to the American decision not to do so. We have also made it clear to our American friends that more limited agreements are also unacceptable to us. In any case, just as I have clarified to them and to the world, I will reiterate here, we will do whatever we need to do in order to defend ourselves by our own forces against any threat.
It's important to highlight that the U.S. State Department continues to maintain that there is no interim agreement of any sort pending with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Nevertheless, when asked whether there has been some momentum or movement in areas of mutual concern between the U.S. and Iran, State Department spokesman Matthew Miller said the following.
I think how I would describe it is we have been clear what our Iran policy is and what our Iran objectives are. Number one, we want Iran to take steps to de-escalate tensions, which of course includes steps to curb its nuclear program. Number two, we want Iran to cease its actions that destabilize the region, including its support for proxy groups that carry out attacks. Number three, we want Iran to stop its support for Russia's war on Ukraine. Number four, we believe that Iran should release Americans who it continues to wrongfully detain. The wrongful detention of U.S. nationals and political leverage for political leverage is unacceptable, and we will continue to work to bring every American who is wrongfully detained home. And I will say that we continue to use diplomatic engagements to pursue all of these goals in full coordination with our allies and partners. But as I said yesterday, with respect to Iran's nuclear program, there is no deal. The reports that there are a deal or some agreement or some other description, however you want to describe it, are not true. Sorry to retread ground. And as much as I would love to stand up here today and say that we have an agreement to bring U.S. citizens home, U.S. citizens who have been wrongfully detained home, that is not the case. It is a matter that we continue to work, that we continue to spend a great deal of time and resources trying to effectuate, and we will continue to do so. But I don't have an announcement of any agreement to bring detainees home at this time.
Absent any clear resolve by the Biden administration to deal with the root cause of Iran's nuclear ambitions in the immediate future at least, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is seemingly working to de-escalate tensions in the region with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Merely 1 week after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited Riyadh, Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud was hosted by his Iranian counterpart Hossein Amir Abdullahian in Tehran, during which the two top diplomats held the re-establishment of diplomatic relations, which they said would be paramount to improving security across the region.
Work is currently underway for diplomatic missions to resume their work in the two countries, and we have witnessed the opening of the Iranian embassy in Riyadh, and it will be soon followed by the opening of the Saudi embassy in Tehran. I would like to refer to the importance of cooperation between the two countries with regard to regional security, especially the security of maritime navigation and waterways, and the importance of cooperation between all countries in the region to ensure that it is free of weapons of mass destruction.
While the Saudi top diplomat highlighted the need to ensure maritime stability and to avoid weapons of mass destruction, two matters that the Iranians have defiantly pursued, Minister Amir Abdullahian cynically asserted that Iran had never equated security with militarism, while urging the oil-rich Arabian monarchy to bolster economic ties between the two countries.
In today's conversation, we focused on the necessity of sustainable economic, commercial, and joint investment cooperation between the two countries. The Islamic Republic of Iran never equates security with militarism.
While the rapprochement between Saudi Arabia and Iran is quite frankly unnatural, since both countries are historically bitter rivals on numerous matters of deep-rooted contention, Tehran's top diplomat insisted that when it comes to Israel and the Palestinians, there is complete alignment between the two countries.
We agree that solving the Palestinian issue is a fundamental and priority issue in the Islamic world and the joint view of Tehran and Riyadh.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. Separately, we would like to encourage you, pray for our persecuted brothers and sisters worldwide, as well as for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Essen wishing you a Shavua Mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you again tomorrow at the same time.